snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin.
Yes,
No,
sir.
there's no jokes. And you are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about the things that are happening in pop culture. And today
Today,
we're recapping the 30th anniversary of Otakon. We're gonna talk a little bit about our thoughts on the movie Trap. And unfortunately, we gotta talk about Batman.
Bat Swole.
You know what I mean, it's just a necessary thing. That's just part of what we have to do.
Hey,
Um,
it is what it
you
is.
know, before we get started, Sin will jump in and do Joke's job. Get the beacons link up for you, so that you have the easiest link to follow us where we are.
Mhm.
Hello, Candace. Um, while you are, in there investigating those leaks you find on beacons.ai/loading snacks, remember to check out the merch store. Andrew. Andrew says, "Good day, fellas. Hope you're feeling a lot better than I am. Stomach issues beating my butt.
Ooh,
Oh, no.
yeah, please feel
Keep
better.
the Pepto in the tuck, sir, and feel better.
Yeah,
Hopefully, it's just like a 24-hour bug
yeah.
or something like that. I, I didn't see you at Otakon, so I don't think it's con crud, but there were
You never know.
plenty of other conventions happening.
That's so you never know.
Could still be con crud. Yeah, man. It's out there.
Sure.
Yeah. Check out the merch store. Um, and slide on over to Patreon. See some of those goodies early. Uh, what up, Heather? How are you? Heather, I saw a very interesting picture of you today, as a matter of
Uh-oh.
fact.
Uh-oh.
Um, I don't know if you know it's floating out there or not. It was an interesting picture. There were a lot of people in that picture, so you weren't alone.
Okay.
Which you were, I would say, by definition, the rowdiest of the folks in the uh, so let me just let's go ahead and get off track for a second, Sam. Get
Please
off
go ahead.
track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before we announce, you know what I'm saying? Before you do your job, let's just get off track. So here's the thing: I am not really on Facebook. I have a Facebook profile. I'm mostly only there because loading snacks, good conversation and shenanigans, movie club. Like there's a lot of stuff going on Facebook that we have there. So I'm there. Mostly Facebook is like maybe a once every 2 or 3 days check in to like just bunch of people's birthdays. Let's just go ahead and
Happy birthday.
say what's up to some people or whatever. And because I'm not really on there. There's a bunch of friend requests I haven't answered. There's a bunch, whatever. But Facebook is like riddled with ads for Facebook stuff. So like, it will just send me like, you know what? You probably would like this group. You probably should join this group. And sometimes I join them. I don't know why. I'm never on Facebook.
Mhm.
Today, an image comes across my device for like a BlurredCon 35 plus group.
Okay.
And that picture is in a place we were sitting, Sin, but we
Okay.
weren't there when this happened.
Okay.
I'm assuming this was after hours. I don't know. Heather, you are right there. Okay. I know exactly what day this was too. Like,
Got
And
it.
did I join the group? I did not. Will I? Remains to be seen. I do not know.
We'll find out in the next few days when you check back in.
I figured I'd maybe reach out to Heather and just find out what kind of shenanigans are happening there before I,
Got you.
what I mean, before I just stage dive in. Because again, most of the groups that I'm in, they're just there. Realistically, I'm on IG, and it just automatically posts to Facebook. So it's weird because it's like I feel like I don't need to be there, but then you do miss, I guess, a bunch of stuff because there are a lot of people. Oh, it's the cover pick, that's for sure. Oh yeah, Heather, the cover pick. Most energy in the room. KB, what up? KB,
What up?
we got to get you out to one of these conventions, bro. Like, you're around. So, like, I need you to be around. Like, we got to get you, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, come roll with the crew.
Something. I will say this, KB, since you just popped up. This has been on my mind recently. I don't know how hard this is going to be to do. There's a small part of me that wants to go back into Ghost of Tsushima and try to get into a raid. I'm not ready at all. But there's a small part of me that's like, however, I let that PlayStation Plus lapse and I don't feel like going back.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
That's the problem.
If you'd dove into that, I'm like, okay, he's speaking facts right now. Hold up. I'm gonna have to join in to polish off my skills and get ready. But not until you make that purchase, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, they haven't given me a good reason to. They almost got me with Helldivers 2.
I still want to jump in and give that a shot.
Almost. See, KB, that's that talk right there. That'll make me spend money I'm not gonna use. but I'm the thoughts cross my mind, man. Like I there's a part of me that just feels like it could be a good like extra life deviation. That like preparing for it
could be kind of nice. We had some runs. Like that thing was fun. And
we did, but not at the raid.
Oh no, we never tried the raid. No. Just talking about just regular multiplayer.
We wasn't even close to getting ready. Exactly, baby. We're gonna get washed. We're gonna get washed real good, like on a washboard.
Yeah.
Might as well just make music. It's like
that whole first night we get on, it's gonna be laundry. That's all it's gonna be. They're just gonna be washing us on their left and right.
Yeah. I had no two ways about it. I said you got a job to do. Let me get back on track real quick.
It's all good. Let me shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbe, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
In fact, we do. Sin, we're 15 minutes deep into the show. Haven't covered a single topic yet, and I'm enjoying myself. Heather says, go on and join your fellow elder. Put it elder millennials and older. It's a good group, and we meet up every blurred Saturday night. That's the part.
Yeah.
That's the part I ain't so sure about. Every blurred Saturday night.
What's a blurred Saturday night?
I'm pretty sure she means the Saturday of BlurCon. Like, what do you mean?
I figured, but I'm just asking. She makes it sound like there's other blurred Saturday nights outside of BlurCon. That's why I was like, hold up now. What are we talking about here?
I'll try to create a new thing out of it. I'm not saying I'm not down. Look, here's what I will say, Sin. That's a lot of people in that cover pick.
Oh,
listen. We're sitting in that wrestling panel at BlurCon. That's a lot of them was sitting in that wrestling panel at BlurCon. That's what I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you that. You know, if I'm getting in, I'm dragging you with me. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, it's just the way it is.
It's part for the course.
Yeah.
This weekend, what an interesting weekend this weekend was. Sin, would you agree?
As I was sitting here thinking about it, I would agree 1,000%. Yeah.
We missed Big Lick Comic-Con, unfortunately. Like I really did want to at least try to get out there and show a little bit of support at least one day. There were some shenanigans on the Otakon side of things. We will get into, because I don't have to protect anybody from Otakon here.
No.
So we will get into it. But I do want to recap our time. You know, here's the thing. Otakon is strangely special to me.
Drew, I can answer this after this topic if times allows for it. But for now, I'm just going to put on screen and take it away and get back to Otakon.
I have thoughts on SummerSlam. I have expressed them too. I have thoughts for after SummerSlam. I don't think Sin agrees with me, but we can get into that later.
Okay.
Yeah, Otakon is oddly special to me. It's a weird one because my particular I don't want to call it love for anime. I think I want to call it respect for anime.
Okay.
Is super high in terms of an art form and just kind of what it is, and honestly what it's done for/to the American children. And the current slate of American adults at the helm, for the most part, of animation now. Like where a lot of their influences came from and where younger generations are continuing to get their influence from. I don't love anime the way people at Otakon love anime.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I'm not sure I love anything that I'm not related to the way people who love anime love anime. And Otakon, for a convention that takes place in the same place that AwesomeCon takes place, there is a completely different feeling
1000%,
at Otakon
yes.
compared to AwesomeCon.
Yes.
What is that energy, Sin?
I think where AwesomeCon is kind of like a hodgepodge of like everything pop culture related. Like it's live action, it's cartoons, it's comics, it's video games, it's an awesome convention where Otakon is based around anime and anime itself. Yes, people come cosplaying as video game characters like a Master Chief or whatever, but it's basically grounded in anime to where at this particular convention, we get the voice actors and directors and producers from overseas to come over to this convention. You know what I mean? Like it's all based around, anime. So I think that's probably the biggest difference between the two. One's just focused on one thing, or one focused on just a lot of different pop culture stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, anime is that though. Like, you shot a whole segment about the manga library. So, like, that is their comics. That is Japanese comics. So, like, yes. There's comics. There is live action anime. It's terrible.
Live action adaptations of anime and stuff. But you get what I'm saying. It's all based around that.
I do. It's a weird thing to have a convention that is not based around pop culture, but is based around the culture that has been created by anime. Like, anime is not a culture, but there is a culture to being an otaku, right? And it's a foreign culture. So I think part of the energy that I feel is like, Otakon and I mean Katsukan too. Otakon's a bit of a different beast, but like I'd say the biggest difference between Katsu and Oda is just the honest to goodness 24 hours of Katsu versus like Oda does have technically an end time where they shut things down. But I think that like I think that the culture that exists in places that aren't Japan around anime is very specific. It's not it's not the same as having like you could go to a Star Wars convention and say, "Oh, this feels different from an Awesome Con," but the energy still isn't the same because the culture of Star Wars isn't real, quote unquote. All of it's made up. The culture of anime is a bleeding of like Japanese culture and how things work and trying to meld in the understanding of that culture. And then there is a culture around people learning, understanding, and dealing specifically with anime, how it works, and the culture of being a person who is into anime. It's not as off and on as other pop cultures. So let me try to make this make sense. If you went to a Power Rangers convention, right? What up, Rich? If you went to a Power Rangers convention, everybody there who is a Power Rangers fan is a Power Rangers fan 100% of the time. At the convention, they're at power level 1000. Like they're all the way on. And when the convention is over, they're still a Power Rangers fan, but it's not the turn up. Anime fans are always on. They are like, because it's an actual culture. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not the same as like, oh, I'm a big fan of this and they're doing a thing around it. It's like if you went to a wrestling convention, there would be energy there. You're always a wrestling fan, and there is a wrestling culture. You speak the same language, you do the same things, you dress the same way in and outside of conventions, regular life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you go to a Star Trek convention, hello, Nana. Hope you're feeling so much better. If you go to a Star Trek convention, you could be on that Star Trek high. I'm pretending I'm actually on a ship. I'm on a Star Trek cruise. This is it. Speaking Klingon the whole time I'm here. Exactly. But like when it's over and you go back to work, even though you're still a fan and you might have things up on the wall, it's not like you're living the culture. It's different. Yeah. Yeah. Anime and wrestling. But again, this is Otakon. So specifically anime is like there is a living, breathing culture that is the American. I shouldn't even say American. The foreigner's love of anime. The bringing in and melding, like it's not even really a discussion subbed or dubbed anymore. Like that's not even really a thing like it used to be. It's not. It's just a different kind of energy because there's a different type of understanding, I feel like, in that convention. When I walk into Otakon, even though it's not my top, like it's not, again, I have a lot of respect for anime, for the animation, for the style of it, for the timing, for the way that it treats adult themes, you know, in an animated form, those things. So like I can, and it's for me, unlike for you, like when we go to Otakon, I don't know 90%
Yeah.
of what's going on. I don't know the characters. I don't know the cosplay. I don't know the pictures. I'm just like I know if I see a piece of artwork I like, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
know if
Yeah.
I see a dope cosplay, there are characters I recognize. Like I'm not completely, you know what I mean? Because I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm in the, but I'm not.
And plus, you're
But
around us, so like some stuff just kind of just rubs off in general. Yeah.
right, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like I would be ingrained in the culture in some way anyway,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even if I wasn't around y'all, I'd be ingrained in the culture in some manner, right?
Right. Right.
But I have like there's a drop off point for me, right? Like I'm literally when I'm old man in the sky, like you say everything you want, but ain't nothing banging with Ninja Scroll. Like I'm one of them dudes. Like,
Yeah, you are.
hey, get your Ninja Scroll out, bro. Stop playing with me. You know what I mean? Still, man, my appreciation level is so high, and it's not just the art and anime itself; it's the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like for me being at an Otakon, it's almost like going to a hip hop convention, where it's like
Okay,
when you're
you
there,
got the
or like
graffiti, you got the artwork, you have the breakdancing, like all that stuff is ingrained
all
in
the
it, and it's
pillars.
yeah. So when you're, I say when you're Otakon, there's a little bit of all that stuff ingrained with it, whether it's panels or guests they having or workshops they're
It's just
doing,
people
stuff
walking
like that,
around.
and that
Yeah,
too.
it's
Yeah.
just people walking around. It's just like little tiny, silly, small, minuscule thing. Here's the thing: walking around Otakon is like walking through a painting full of Easter eggs.
Mm.
It's little things popping off everywhere you go. Like, oh, they go, oh snap, there's a, oh, there goes a, you know what I mean? It's a constant thing, and that happens at other conventions, but it 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 feels like it's less on purpose, and it's just part of it.
Mm-hmm.
There, the energy is just different. The people that like there's so many things that are similar, but you could do one and not do the other, and go to an anime convention and completely feel like, what is this?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is happening? You know what I'm saying? And for like I just been around it so long and have seen so much of it that like it don't really surprise me in any way.
Right.
30 years of Otakon, 94.
That's awesome, for real. That's some kind of struggle to get up and get 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And 30 years? That's just saying 30 years is a hell of an achievement. Like honestly. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that
I mean,
actually
look,
shows how long anime has been so ingrained in, Baltimore, DC, to start out in Baltimore, move to DC. You know what I mean? Just the fact that you keep
went to
having a
Vegas.
yeah, like having a convention based around anime for 30 years to see how big it's grown to the point where now, like I've said before, they put when Otacon's happening, I see announcement about that stuff on like credible like anime websites, like who's coming and all that kind of stuff. So it's grown that big to where now, yes, they flying over, you know what I'm saying, doing interviews and signing autographs and all that kind of stuff. Like it's grown immensely. So salute to them for 30 years.
But yeah, let's recap a little bit. What are your favorite things you saw over the weekend?
Favorite things I saw. Cosplay is always, pretty dope when you go there. I do appreciate that the layout kind of stays the same with them, so you kind of already know where to go when you get there. It's not trying to find something. They don't change too much up, but
Shout out to keeping that blasted wall open
yes,
between the vendor area and the artist area, dog.
yes,
Because such a necessity,
yeah.
such
But
a solid film.
saw a lot of cool artwork. Wasn't my time to grab artwork this time around. I didn't want to spend too much money, but I did see a lot of cool artwork that I like. Got their information, to follow them and stuff like that. Like I said, amazing cosplays, panels that I heard about slash or went to. Really good from feedback I'm getting, feedback I'm hearing. Like really, really good. Uh, Outside of that, was stuff I saw. you know, looking around, you always find cool stuff, cool vendors with. You take the time and look through stuff. You find hidden treats and little trinkets and stuff like that. Like one of my favorite things about going to Otakon is just finding that stuff we can't normally get our hands on. You know, what I'm saying, on a regular day, and don't got to search online for it. And them having so much of that out there, like you can get lost in that real
Somebody
easy.
who was with us got their hands on something they couldn't find for like a year and spent a half
Facts.
a
Yeah.
quarter a quarter stack on it
Yeah. Quickly.
easy.
Yeah.
And
So
we
stuff
we
like that is just awesome to be able to go to those places and find that type of stuff.
100%. Cool to have a chance to get some of the members of the anime chat group, the
Mm-hmm.
admins together in one spot, kind of do some stuff. Y'all been talking the ReZero thing. We had some fun with kind of running around trying to find some ReZero stuff. Indeed, you
Mm-hmm.
got a couple of things.
Yeah.
You might have tried to cheat.
Not intentionally, but sure.
Mm,
If I legitimately forgot. Legitimately forgot.
you legitimately forgot that you told your cousin
Yes.
about that piece and that you were going to go get
Not
it
about
while
not
you
about
were
the
there.
piece, but going to get it part. I completely forgot. Dead ass.
Yep.
Just but
Well, listen, let
put
me
it to the
tell you
side
something.
and went and found something else. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you kind of got blame Noah
It's all
for
good.
putting your business out free. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, look, having a chance to really talk to Substantial. We talk to Substantial like every time we see him, everywhere we
Yeah.
go. We don't always shoot an interview, but seeing uh them get the opportunity to kind of expand um what they're doing, having like a whole block to themselves
Yeah.
in the vendor space and like doing basically a new show like every 2 hours for an hour. It's just really dope. So it was really good to talk to him and see what they're doing and really have a good in-depth conversation about Sketchpass. That'll be going live tomorrow. Um, had some good conversations with some other artists that were there that I feel like again are gonna be kind of cool. You had the interview on Sunday morning.
Yes, with Frontier Works. Yes. Yes.
So look for
That was
that.
good. That was good.
Yeah. Overall, man, I just the way that people show up and turn out the Washington Convention Center, man,
Whew.
is and the hotel. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, Shout out to the Marriott connected to the convention center.
Yes.
Saturday night at the Marriott is
A beautiful sight.
it's a vibe.
1000%.
The bar was getting it. Let me just say that whoever is the franchise owner of the Starbucks in that Marriott is insane for closing that joint during the weekend.
Yeah.
They should be the most 24
24.
hour.
Yeah.
They are
They would make a
insane
killing. They would make a
for closing.
killing.
They're making enough for real that they probably don't need to open for a week. Cause
Yeah.
that joint, like, you can't even order ahead in that joint. I wanted a chai tea out of there so bad, and I was like, it's not gonna happen. I'm not doing it. I'm not waiting in that line. I am bougie now. I do not like waiting in lines, dog. I don't want to wait in the line. I'm just
I'm
used
not
to
mad at it.
ordering and going in and picking it up and walking out, bro. And like, yeah, if I can't do that, I'm not happy with it. Here's my question, Sam.
Yeah.
Are we staying in the hotel next year?
Funny you asked that.
That's not
Because
funny.
not really. But because I was thinking, as far as our local conventions, we cover a lot of them around here, and we say some of them are party cons, like a Blur Con, you know what I mean, like a Mag Fest, and such. I think we could put Otakon on that list as well, because the nighttime scene, the vibe, everything, the shenanigans we hear about, after parties and all sorts, like I think it could 100% be put on that list. So to answer that question, yes, Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the Marriott. It could be a block away for
Yes,
all I
it does.
care.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'm not saying we wouldn't stay a block away.
Oh no, we'll be in the Marriott. Yeah, but like, all right, when it's time to go to sleep, I'm look. It's a lot to stay here this weekend. Might have to, you know, finagle some things. But yeah, I think we definitely need to add it to that list. Definitely.
All right.
Well, G's asking, where is this? The convention center in
Oh,
DC.
yeah, it happens at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. So Otakon for years, for the majority of the time that is, for the majority of the 30 years that it has existed, it has been in Baltimore, mostly at the Baltimore Convention Center.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last couple of years, they have moved it out of Baltimore and moved it into the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. So it happens now in the exact same building that AwesomeCon happens in.
Mm-hmm.
But they have done for a couple years. They did it in Vegas. It started in Baltimore, moved to Vegas for a little while. Like it kind of has moved around, but mostly it's been here in this area, and it is truly an international event. Like there were artists with tables, booths there who don't really like English is like not even a third language for
Yeah.
some of them. Like they're just there doing their thing, drawing stuff up and so forth. It's pretty cool. KB says, yeah, I'm gonna have to pop out to a con with the homies. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
I do listen, I do want you to understand if you show up to a convention with us during the day, it's work. You will get your step counter will
yeah.
break.
Yeah.
Don't we do stop at a period because we have just learned to finally stop and
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
But like we didn't even do that. We didn't really do that this weekend.
No, not really.
We didn't. We
Yeah.
didn't really do it. Like we thought about it.
Jeez,
We
that
got
was
in line to get food for somebody else, somebody that had a booth who couldn't leave their
yeah.
booth. That was where I got that from.
Yeah, we didn't stop to eat.
No, we did not. I mean, one time we did
Yeah.
stop and sit down, and we sat. I just felt like we sat down for too long. The only other time we stopped and sat down, we sat down to shoot content. We did eat. That was the one time that we really stopped to eat. We sat down to shoot content, and it just so happened that content was around really
Yeah.
drinking. It wasn't even really
Yeah.
around eating. So, and even that was like, we've been sitting too long. We gotta go get some stuff. Let's go to work. So, um, you know, after parties and so forth, that's a little bit different. But like, if you come and meet us during the day, you might want to have an action plan for like going and doing some other stuff or checking some things out and maybe
Mhm.
regrouping with us at a different time or something like that. Because
Yeah.
we burn holes in the
Keep it
floor.
moving.
Yeah. Constantly. We have people like we have to go see, and we don't. We very rarely do we manage to get to everybody. So
It's a lot to cover. Yeah.
it is. Speaking of covering things, Sim,
Mm-hmm.
let's have a discussion about whether or not you and I should sit down and have a full length discussion and actually make. Why are you laughing?
Go ahead. I didn't know this was headed. Okay, go ahead.
Make a spoiler boys for the movie Trap. Let's talk about
Uh,
Trap for a
okay.
minute. Um, I don't want to get into spoilers because I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Right.
But we can make a decision right now about whether or not we should actually, whether it's worth it to
Right.
shoot a spoiler boys episode segment for Trap.
And chat, please chime in on this. Yeah.
Oh, please. If you're not familiar, so Trap is a movie that just released like a week ago. It is a new M. Night Shyamalan film. It stars Josh Hartnett. Now I can't think of her name. Haley, the original twins from The Parent Trap, is in it. There's another young lady who was like a young girl on some show I can't think of now. Um, it is about a serial killer
Yes.
who takes his daughter to what is essentially a K-pop concert. It's not K-pop, but it's
Right.
kind of. There are a couple things.
Taylor Swift-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brown Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Um Sin,
Hmm.
you saw this last week.
I did.
You went by yourself.
Yes.
Amazing. You don't generally go for films that even seem like there might be a hint of horror in them. What drew you
Right.
to this film?
The concept. Just the sheer concept of it. The being inside of a concert, watching, like we said, Brown Taylor Swift with his daughter, and in real time figuring out that it's all a ruse pretty much to lure you out. The police have completely surrounded the building and are coming to get you, and how you're going to get out of this situation. That concept alone is what had me sold.
Can I tell you that what this movie ended up being and what I thought it was from the trailers are two completely different things. Let me tell you what
Yeah.
I thought. Let me tell you
Okay.
what I thought I was getting.
Okay.
What I thought was happening was, and look, here's the thing. I probably just wasn't really paying attention to the trailer, but this is what I thought I was going into.
Okay.
I thought the serial killer was at the concert venue on purpose and was going to be like killing people in the concert venue. Bro, don't do your face like that. I thought
Okay.
so, like in my head, it was like, yo, he's sick. Like he's about to just start picking people off in the concert hall. Like that's kind of what I was waiting for, was like bodies to start showing up, sort of.
Okay.
It's not that at all.
No.
It's not even close to being that.
I'm shocked that that's what you got from the trailer.
So here's what I think I did.
This is exactly what I thought it was.
I think I watched like the teaser
Okay.
and maybe didn't actually watch the whole
That's
trailer.
wild to go in thinking that, and then, yeah, they sit there watching like that's not what this is.
So here's the thing. I wasn't sure if I was disappointed or not. because because what I thought I was walking into wasn't. I wasn't necessarily disappointed with what I saw. But the premise of the film being there's a serial killer who's on the loose. They find out that he's going to this concert, and the concert itself is basically an entire setup just to try to catch this one man who they call the Butcher, who is like finding people and chopping them up. And yeah. And he's at the concert with his like 13-year-old. She just trying to sing songs and have a good time. That starts off so regular.
Then things happen.
Did you like it?
I think overall, yes. Like I enjoyed myself watching this to the end. The good, bad, and the ugly stuff about it.
All right. Okay. Do we need to film?
It sounds like you need to get some of this off your chest.
Because we don't have to. Like, we can talk about some things, but we don't have to film it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I can tell you that, like,
hold up. What are you talking about, Jay? Is there not enough food for us, like not eating and everything when we were at Otakon?
Oh nah, there's plenty of food at Otakon. We just be busy,
Yeah,
so we don't.
yeah,
It's just like, and here's the thing: we pack bags, and we always have snacks. And you know who we are.
right.
We always have snacks, so it's not like we don't eat it all, and we keep like bottles of water and stuff like that with us. So like we move, we drink, we hydrate,
Yeah,
and, you know, whatever. But like, and usually like over time, we have learned to like slow down. All right, we got to sit down for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes or whatever, get something to
yeah.
eat or whatever, and kind of like,
Upload some stuff, get some food in our system. Yeah,
yeah, even when we stop to do that, it still work. Like, it's still like, let's sit down and let's upload and let's do that kind of stuff or whatever. The lines, nah, the lines, those lines I'm talking about specifically were for the Starbucks inside of the hotel that's
yeah,
connected to the convention center. The line in that Starbucks never goes away until they
yeah,
close the doors.
yeah.
From the time they open until, because again, it's inside the hotel. So like,
Hmm.
because that hotel is connected to the convention center, the majority of the people who are going to the convention, like they eat up those room blocks in that hotel almost immediately. It's
Yeah,
almost impossible to get a room in there.
yeah,
So that hotel, and then like all the hotels within like, I would say a 2 block radius, are all
yeah.
filled with people who are staying at hotels to go to the convention.
Hmm.
But specifically the one that's connected to the convention hall, the Marriott, it's it's that Starbucks is, the line is, and I'm sure it moves fast.
And it's
I
like you
just
said
don't
too.
want to wait
You
in.
can't. Another reason why it's so long because you can't order ahead of time. You can't use the app or
Right, that's what I'm
anything. You
saying.
have to go
You,
there to it. So
you have to
yeah,
go and, well, I mean, again, if you could order ahead of time, they'd have so many orders in, and there would just be
yeah,
a line of people waiting to pick those orders up, or you'd have people coming and picking up stuff that isn't theirs or whatever. Like, it would be a show. They shouldn't. They're smart enough to
right.
do that. But, and look, it's the convention center. So that hotel always has people staying in it who are going to the convention.
Hmm.
But you have to understand that, like, if there's a, I don't know, dog, like if they do a refrigerator convention in that joint, the people standing in line at Starbucks because they're staying in the hotel for the weekend while they go, or for the week while they attend the dentist convention, while they attend the,
Yeah,
they're not standing in line in full cosplay taking up a lot of extra space. It's just like
it's just
standing
different.
in
Yeah.
line at these things is not like standing in a normal line anyway. It is a anime con line
Yeah, we just different.
with, yeah, as you know, like, it's people with wings and like
Yep.
weapons,
Big massive
you know what I mean,
skirts
and
and
stuff. Like, it's
stilts
just,
and yeah.
yeah, I'm not getting in that line, dog. I go
T-
across the street. There's a Starbucks across the street in
ton
another
of
hotel.
ton of camera equipment, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, like, you know, and like I'm walking around with a big book bag on my back with stuff in it, like, you know, and I'm like, I'm on my Boy Scout when I go to these joints. So like I have all kinds of stuff in my bag. You'll see some of that. There's some footage coming out around that. Why do I keep AA batteries in my bag?
Because at
You
some
never know.
point, exactly.
You never know. Is there electrical tape in my bag? Look, just alien tape in my bag.
Telling you, everything's in that bag. It don't matter.
I,
Don't matter what somebody asks for at the convention. It's in his bag.
we go to a table, we shooting the interview. Man, I show you how it works, but I don't have any batteries. You know who you talking to?
That's
Give
why I
me
just
just
started
a moment.
smiling. The second he said that, I was like, he got batteries in his bag. I know he do.
You know I did. You know I got batteries in my bag.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, back to
yeah.
trap.
So do we need to do a spoiler boys for trap? Do you want to do a spoiler boys for trap? That's a no. So
it's a 50-50 thing with it. It's a 50 thing with it. That's it. We don't have to. It would be a fun and probably
I
hilarious
don't. Nobody's
conversation.
chiming in and asking
Yeah.
for it. So like, I
So
don't really think we need to do it. Like, we can
yeah.
just. Nobody even knows what that is. Like, it's just a movie that happened. It came out.
And we
You
happen to go
know,
see it. Yeah.
I feel like if I talk about it, I'm gonna talk myself down. Like, I'm gonna talk myself into a score that's like where my internal score is in my head, which I don't mind. Like, I think it's like a 7.
I'm sitting around that too. Yeah. 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Like I said, had
It
fun.
wasn't like.
Had fun. First
I
half
mean,
went one way, and then the second half, when the
it
songs
runs
came
too
out,
long,
you
dog.
know.
I don't know, bro. Like, I don't. You know what? Let's not do this. Um, Instead of talking trash about trap, let's talk about Batman. Let's see if Tardy Ty shows up.
I know. Now that you said that, now that you Beetlejuice them,
What do people going to conventions need? Everything, dog.
water,
Everything.
snacks, comfortable shoes.
Oh my god. Oh, are you asking like if you're gonna go, like what you should have with you? I mean, like you was that Magfest you popped up on us? Um, if you're gonna go and like if you're just doing a day,
Mm,
whatever. Go take some money and maybe take a bag to like carry some stuff with. But somebody's gonna give you a bag if you're like
yeah,
buying stuff and walking out with stuff. If you plan to go for a day and you plan to stay all day, again, you can eat, but you're gonna get convention food, so it's not
it's gonna
great
be
food
way
and it's more
overcharged. Yeah,
expensive food.
yeah,
You know, but if you're planning to do like a 3-day or a 4-day run, there are some things that you need to just kind of remind yourself of. And if you intend to do that, and like if you intend to do that and stay in the hotel, then you don't need to eat convention
yeah,
food.
yeah,
You can go back to your hotel room and order Uber Eats, or walk out and go down the street. And like there were people walking in with like Nando's, and people going, like,
yeah,
people will just go and get stuff. Like, you can walk a couple blocks up the street and get food.
yeah.
But like, if you're, which is much easier to do if you're staying, especially if you're staying in a hotel that's connected. But even if you're in like the hotel across the street,
Mm-hmm.
it's really not that big a deal to just walk out and go to your hotel room and get some food or whatever.
Yeah.
It just depends on how tired you are and what your intentions are. There is stuff that's happening all day. So you really kind of
Mm-hmm.
have to look at, there's an application called Guidebook. So between that and like whatever they hand you physically that tells you like what kind of events are happening, you just have to really pay attention to what's happening and decide what things you want to attend, because there will always be things that are happening at the same time that you want to do. There'll be a panel that's happening at the same time. You want to go see a photo shoot happening at the same time that they're doing a meetup for something else. Two panels that you would love to attend, but you can't do both because they're both having it such as time. Some person who you want to meet or do a meet and greet, or is doing autographs, or is doing photo opportunities, is going to be at the same time. If something else is happening, like, you just kind of have to look at all that and figure it out, and literally kind of plan out your entire day. Or your entire weekend, including when to stop and eat. It's very easy to look at all the
Oh
things that
yeah.
are happening and get distracted and overwhelmed and just be moving so much that you don't realize you haven't stopped to eat. As a matter of fact, I stopped at a table of a friend of mine. Company's called Squirrel and Grub. We see them at a lot of joints. The person who runs it, she's awesome. She actually also runs tables at like Mag Stock. Um, is like in charge of like the artist alley for them. And she had a friend who was at her booth with her, who earlier in the day had just gotten so sick that she just was like throwing up and ready to pass out. And it was just because she hadn't stopped. She was like dehydrated and just hadn't stopped to make sure, that. And it's easy for that kind of stuff to happen because you're just so pulled in so many different directions.
Yeah.
And looking at time, being like, oh, well, we got to be at such and such and such and such time. And so if you don't, really, when we were younger, it mattered less.
They're doing that now.
It's not true. It didn't matter less. It affected us less. We would just go. Like we would just go and go and go all day. And we wouldn't realize that we hadn't eaten or stopped or taken a break at all until we were in the house and texting each other to say, I'm home. Oh, I'm home. Oh, I'm almost home. I stopped to get something to eat. Dang, I didn't eat. You know what I mean? Like you don't feel hungry. You're just going. So like your adrenaline kind of kicks in and you just start kind of moving. And it's not just like that for us in terms of like going and capturing content and that kind of thing. It's like that for people who are just there and excited and trying to catch things and don't want to miss anything and are afraid if they don't buy this thing right now that it's not going to be there when they come back and all of that. It's a lot. It can be very overwhelming, especially if you're not used to doing it. And you don't know how that kind of stuff works. So I'm sure we could teach a class on it.
Easily.
We're looking at going into consulting. Maybe we'll just add that into the pot. No spoiler boys for Trap.
Nah, no spoiler boys for it. We're good.
But we can talk about Batman though. Listen, couple things. One, Sin, have you been watching Batman Cape Crusader on Amazon Prime?
No, I have not.
I'm on the last episode, bro. Listen to me. That joint's pretty solid.
Okay.
It's not the best Batman. It's not Batman the animated series. It takes a little bit of getting used to. I like what they're doing with the characters. Like they're not exactly the same. Harley Quinn is a completely different beast in this. There is no Joker. It's a whole like the direction they go with the different characters, the ones that they introduce. DC has some lame characters, bro. But like they managed to like I don't know who this dude is. I actually gotta look him up. I just watched an episode where it's this dude. He has a black, I'm assuming it's a hood on his face. He kind of looks like Bullseye, but it's not actually a bullseye. He just has two white circles on his face, right? And he talks, but he doesn't talk. He only makes noises that are onomatopoeias.
And look, when you was describing them, my brain was straight to anime. I was running through a Rolodex of characters right now, like who is this character? Who is this character? Who is this character? Like, oh, that's right. We're not talking about anime.
Listen,
and I almost had somebody.
He doesn't tell his henchmen to go shoot somebody. He points and he says, "Bang." When he's trying to track down Batman and where he is, he looks at the ground and then he starts making a noise like beep, 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 like they're tracking him. And as they get closer, he's beeping faster. And then he points like beep, like he found him. Like he does not speak. He only basically speaks in onomatopoeia. So like when he gets in a fight with Batman, and he is making the like Batman noises. Pow, woo, swish. And mind you,
okay,
y'all like getting the best of Bruce, bruh.
Okay.
And it is incredible because in my head, I'm like, he has to be making Bruce Wayne so mad right now because he is making the noises of like punching him when he's punching him. You miss a punch, he's like, whoosh. Like, yo, I'm like, that joint gotta be eating my man up
that's
inside.
To piss
like,
somebody off.
You understand what I'm saying? No, like, I instantly decided he's my favorite character. That's his name. Yeah, his name is Wish. It could be Swoosh something. Onomatopoeia is probably his name. Because I'm assuming that's who he is.
I'm going to have to find time to get this in. I'm going to have to find some time.
when he showed up like they was like, yo, the cavalry's here. And I'm like, oh, Slim must be a threat. I don't know who this is. And he stood there and watched Batman whoop his entire squad. Didn't even move. Just watched the whole thing. And then when Batman went to face off with him, he threw that first punch. It was like, I was like, ooh, he's nasty. He getting up under him. Listen, I like Cape Crusader. You need to watch the last episode. I'm like halfway through it. I'm almost done. I'm definitely going. Created by the one and only Kevin Smith. Sounds exactly right. That sounds exactly right. Okay. Listen. The show is, look, they do a lot of like period piece stuff with Batman. I feel like from Batman Ninja to, they do that. This is like though more or less the quintessential, like almost original Batman in terms of like what he looks like, style, the kind of weapons they have, like all that kind of stuff. I mean, he still has a car phone, bro. You know what I mean? Like they still have. As a matter of fact, there's a moment in that joint when Barbara Gordon says to him, like, since you just keep appearing like in my window or whatever, maybe I should have a way to contact you. And Slim just gave her his phone number. And his phone number was like Klondike 5 126. And she was like, you got a phone number? And he was like, in case I need it. Or like when I need it or something like that. And it just dipped out the window. She turned around and he was gone. I'm like, all right, that Batman got a phone number. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? How else do you call the bat phone?
Need the number.
However, what I will tell you is this joint needs a second season bad.
Okay.
Like it needs a second season so bad because the way that they are digging into Bruce Wayne and who he is and his psyche is like, they need to do this. They really do need to do this. Like they just need to go ahead and just let that dude be he's a sick man. And they just need to go ahead and get with it. And I will tell you now, I knew it. Usually a Green Arrow villain. I can't even see my man like missing an arrow and being like, whoosh.
We'll beat your ass.
Right? You be so mad, dog. Bruce Wayne's a jerk.
You were telling
me. I hate him, dog. I hate him. And I kind of love that I hate him in this joint. But I don't like the way he treats Alfred at all. He's gonna come around though, I think. But more importantly, let's talk about absolute Batman. Listen.
Yes.
I have been saying for a long time, they need to stop pretending that Bruce Wayne doesn't have powers and give him powers.
Dog. Bro built like Brock Lesnar out here.
He basically is Brock Lesnar.
It's ridiculous.
He's basically Brock Lesnar. Look, if you recall, about 6 or 7 years ago, we had a discussion, and I was like, the only reason why I think Batman is quote unquote a good guy is because of Alfred. That's because he's rich, because he has Alfred. Because like if you take Alfred out of the picture, like Alfred is more or less his conscience.
Yeah.
And then he has the money to do what he needs to do. Your rebuttal to that was like, nah, I still feel like even if there wasn't Alfred, like he would still do the same thing. Like even if he was broke, he would find a way to do what he does. That's more or less what this Batman is.
Okay.
This Batman is not rich. There is an Alfred, but he doesn't have an Alfred. Alfred works for like MI6 or whatever. This Batman is like 6'6", 250.
It's huge. Especially in that shot when they have all three of them together so you can see him versus the size of like Superman and Wonder Woman. Like this dude is massive.
Yeah, dog. Here's the thing. I need to let me just talk a little bit about what they're doing with this dude because Bruce is an avid weightlifter, earning him the status of thick boy. That was the artist term. He's a thick boy. um,
Yeah, they wrote that. Okay.
this Batman doesn't have a Robin, but he
Yeah.
does have a tiny dog named Bat Ear Frenchie.
So he's the size of Brock Lesnar with a little tiny Frenchie.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, it will be interesting to see how the Bat family comes to grow in time as well. Most of the canonical Batman connections were built through his wealth and resources, and for a Batman who has neither, one must wonder if he can even afford gadgets on his salary. So he is like um he's like a civil engineer, something like that.
Doctor Who, this is not a new show. This is the new comics they're running.
Yeah, this is the absolute Batman.
Yeah.
He has engineered his cape to be able to turn itself rigid so that he can glide. It has hooks in it in the front. You can see at the bottom there so that he can climb walls. He can stand on it. That's weird. Um, so just to kind of give you an idea, he can like walk on the the wings. So see how he's like above them, and
Yeah.
then he. I'm some big boots, bro. Like, how
Oh,
small those guys are.
that's a murder
Um,
happening right now. That's a homicide right there.
I mean, basically, it's an interesting,
Take with Batman.
yeah. Um, to take a character who basically already has and can do everything, strip all that away, and still make it so that he has and can do everything. That's the thing that's weird about this to me. Like, I don't feel like stripping the money away from him, stripping the resources away from him, but making him as resourceful. Again, it's to me, it's the same thing. It's still a cheat code. So just say he has powers. Just give him powers. Like it's so weird to me that the stopping point for Batman Bruce Wayne is at him having powers, which I do feel like would be the one thing that the fan base would be like, absolutely not.
I
You
I agree.
cannot give Bruce Wayne powers. If you give Bruce Wayne powers, the
He's the
people
most
will rebel.
unstoppable person in the world, and yada yada yada. Yeah.
But he already is the most unstoppable person in the world. That's the thing that's fluke about him. Why does
It's a
this
whole
Batman exist?
new universe. It's all of them got
Yeah,
rebooted. Yeah. Wonder Woman,
there-
Superman, Batman. Yeah. Everybody.
yeah. There's
As
an
you said.
absolute Wonder Woman. There's an
Yeah.
absolute Superman. Absolute Batman. They're starting over, but not starting over. And this is a separate universe. So
Right.
they are basically trying to. They're not rebooting the comics like they have in the past. Um, they're like keeping lore and past content as still canon, but they are trying to give a good jumping on point for new readers to get in and not feel like they've missed everything and need to go back and whatever. So rather than start from scratch, which is what they tend to do stuff
Yeah.
for a number of years, have it culminate in some major event that then forces them to reset everything, and then they start everything over at issue number one again. they're not doing that, though they are doing this offshoot universe where they're kind of reimagining these same characters but with different circumstances. And
Yeah.
in Bruce Wayne's case, he is not rich and he is giant. I mean,
I
here's
think
the
it's
thing: Bruce Wayne's not a small man anyway.
no, by no way, shape, or form, nah.
But they say this is what's so stupid. They say he has to like hide. He has to wear like big suits and stuff like that, so he can like hide his physique, so that people won't
People don't.
know. And
Yeah.
because he has to be able to play both sides, and this is supposed to be a Batman that does not have to play both sides of it that way. He could just freely walk around as a big dude who lifts weights and whatever. Which again, to me, is still like, well, at some point, somebody got to be like, oh no, I know who that dude is.
Yeah.
But all right, you know what I mean. But
I don't think this absolute universe sounds interesting with what they're doing with at least the Trinity. Like, sounds interesting. Of course, you got to
yeah,
see
it's
where
not
it
just a
goes,
Trinity.
but
I mean, they're doing a bunch of characters, but
those are only
you
three that
know,
I've
again,
seen. I would say I just seen them three.
what
I've
it
seen
feels like to me
everybody
is
else.
Marvel got rid of the Ultimate Universe and weaved them into Battle World, and then kind of brought those characters in and either killed off or made those characters common in, let's call it, a sacred comic timeline. And now basically DC is doing what Ultimate was. These to me are
Okay,
just like Ultimate versions, not quite 2099, but they're like Ultimate versions. There was an Ultimate
got you.
Punisher and an Ultimate Spider-Man and an Ultimate Doctor Doom and an Ultimate, like it's kind of the same thing to me. That is what
Ultimate,
this is.
absolute, yeah, yeah. I can see the, yeah, I can
Absolute
see it.
Batman, absolute Wonder Woman, absolute Superman is the same thing as Ultimate Spider-Man. Like it's the same
Yeah,
concept to me. They're just kind of, giving them a new place to live, if you will, and kind of changing up some of what the story is. I'm sure that the majority of the backstory and why Bruce is who he is and does what he does will be the same as far as like what happens to his parents and all that kind of stuff, origin story wise. But I just imagine maybe his parents aren't rich, or again, like I said, like if he just ends up in an orphanage
yeah.
and it's like I gotta figure it out. Um, it's an interesting take.
It is.
I would much rather have seen them go like, nah, dog, go hard. Just give him powers, bro. I just say he's a metahuman because he is, instead of.
They need to give him powers to make him the main villain of a massive DC arc.
I mean, I think if he didn't have powers, he'd be a better villain.
I
And
don't
it
need my
gets really.
Batman to have powers. Yeah, I don't need my Batman to have powers at all. I'm cool with him being a regular guy, quote unquote. you know, that can hang with the
But that's my
guys.
problem. He's not a regular guy, quote unquote. He has powers. They just won't say it. It's almost like
Yeah,
saying Superman's not a metahuman because he's not. He's an alien.
but yeah, but still have powers. Yeah, technically.
I just say the guy got powers, man. It's okay. It would be perfectly okay if they just were like, turns out, you know what I mean? Like they're just like Bruce would just never let us get close enough to his DNA to figure it out. And at some point,
Somebody
somebody,
got close.
well,
Yeah,
somebody got a hold of this dude's DNA and was like, oh, I mean, listen, clearly somebody did, bro. Like, you can't tell me this dude's.
Waller.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't tell
Yeah,
me this dude's not a metahuman when they have specifically cloned him because he's like the perfect human specimen. Like, what are you
Terry
talking
McGinnis.
about, dog?
Mm-hmm.
Damian
Mm-hmm.
Wayne,
Is
that
that
boy
dude?
got powers, dog. Like,
yeah,
that boy got powers. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
he got a super soldier serum in him. Something.
Just say it, dog. Stop, like, stop trying to, like, build this thing around the thing that makes him so special is that he's a regular guy when he's not a regular guy.
No, he really not.
He's not, dog. He's
It's none
not.
of those every form of martial arts. Like his detective skills
He's
are like,
a ninja, bro. If you're a ninja's not a regular guy.
oh no.
If a ninja was a regular guy, they would not have made so many video games with ninjas in them. Dog, if I was walking through the arcade and seeing a ninja walking across the screen, I'd be like, put my quarters in that joint. It's about to go down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's ninjas on the screen.
All right, so I remember Ultimate Saber called Spider-Man a mutant. Listen, he could have been. They don't have to know. Like, you know, it's one of them things where, like, Spider-Man has the misfortune of having been created before the X-Men. Before Stan Lee was like, I gotta find a way to just make it so that everybody got powers. I can't keep coming up. Everybody can't get bit by a radioactive thing or get something spilled on them. I got to come up with something.
Oh, I went into space. We have powers.
That's what makes mutants so brilliant. It's like, nah, dog, it's just a change in their DNA. It's a whole, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it just happens to you one day. You just be 13 riding your bike, fall, scrape your knee, and all of a sudden your tongue can wrap around you, dog. Yeah, like it just and your parents don't love you no more. Like
it's right. That's as quick and simple as it happens.
Yeah, that's it. And then it's over. Yeah, just give them powers. I want somebody to have that kind of gumption to just be like,
it's gonna happen eventually.
You think so?
Yeah, there's only so many times you can, because we see these reboots and redos all the time. Both houses do them. Eventually, somebody's gonna roll the dice and say, you know what? Let's just this time give them powers.
I feel like that's the one rule. Like I feel like that's the one rule, bro.
I agree. Like, I do, but I think at some point they're gonna let off the gas and do it.
Superman has to be allergic to kryptonite. Batman can't have powers. Those are the rules. Wonder Woman, you can do whatever you want with her. We don't care what you do with Wonder Woman. You don't want her having an invisible plane that's stupid? Let her fly. Cool. What?
I'll never forget the first time I watched the Justice League, dog. She flew. Like, I said, hold up. This is wrong. Where's my jet? Why is she flying?
And she still has an invisible plane? What are we doing, dog? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Whatever, dog. Sin?
Yeah.
I feel like we should wrap the show up.
Okay.
I feel like we should put a bow on it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, call it a night. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us this evening. It's been a fun discussion.
Yes.
If you were making your own, like, absolute or ultimate comic, what character would you pick and what changes would you make? That's what I want to know. I want to know. Look, that's it. The gears are turning. Okay. Okay.
It's a fun.
We'll see if you remember to bring that up next week. We'll see how that goes. We found a drinking game while we were away at Otakon. What up, Doctor? Thank you for that. That's going to be a problem.
Big facts.
I'll drop some content around that later this week. Keep your eyes open for the Otakon content as it hits throughout the week. We don't have a convention this weekend, but there's conventions next weekend and the weekend after that. RisuCon's coming. We got a lot still happening. A lot still brewing. Sin? Yeah. What's going on in Thriller Park?
Thriller Park. This week we are watching season 2, ReZero, episodes 7 through 9 this week. Patreon members, expect y'all's view of the last episode, episodes 4 through 6 tonight before I go to sleep. I just got to put a finishing bow on the edit, and you all should have it before I go to sleep tonight. And everybody else, you get it on Thursday. And yeah, meet us in the Discord. You know, Thursday 9:30. It's gonna be a good time watching this. The way it ended last week, we have more questions than answers as always, but great cliffhanger. So looking forward to that.
It's a good thing. Episodes of Lotus Nights Weekly are now available in audio form. You can find them on Spotify. Just look up Lotus Nights Weekly. Started throwing those up last week. So right now it's just last week's. It'll be this week's episode. We'll go up to. But it seems like people are looking for other ways to kind of ingest some of these conversations. So go bookmark it, check it out, hang out, listen to it again, drop comments and so forth. K Dizzle, what it do?
Right.
Yeah, make sure you check that out. Trying to put some plans together to maybe have some special guests over the next couple of weeks. We'll see how that works out with the conventions and so forth that we have, in talks. Things kind of get a little hazy, but we're prepping some things for future episodes and so forth. So keep your eyes on that. I don't know what's happening with the finisher and wrestling. Oh, my bad, Andrew. SummerSlam, Sin.
Yes.
I just give him the quick, whatever. I take 10 minutes, whatever. Sorry, that's fine.
I didn't catch SummerSlam live because we had Otakon this weekend, so I weren't able to catch it until Sunday. So once it wrapped up there, went home, checked it out. I thought, honestly, that it was a great pay-per-view. I thought all the matches were great. I think predictable because I would say it was predictable, but in a good way. Stuff we knew were going to happened. Roman coming back, Liv winning the belt, retaining the belt with Rhea's match, and Gunther getting the belt. We kind of knew all this stuff was happening, but the presentation, the way everything went down with the structure of the matches and everything, honestly, it was a great pay-per-view from start to finish, and I enjoyed myself the entire time. So that is my review of without going too long of that.
Well done, sir. Well done. I was watching people get knocked out. One championship. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, listen. One championship was better than the Olympics this weekend, boy. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Let me tell you. It was some. Okay. Some service, bro. It was some services.
OTC.
Oh Lord, here we go.
OTC, the original tribal chief, baby. Friday is gonna be popping.
In that, I thought that was Rikishi.
Nah.
Rikishi not the original tribal chief?
No.
I'm just saying, dog. Come on, dog.
What's the thing back there in wrestling?
Nah, come on, dog.
That's Roman.
Hey, come on, dog. Come on, dog.
That's Roman, baby. He's our original tribal chief. OTC. Friday.
All right. If you say so. Yeah, look, thanks for hanging out with us. It's been real. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate your time. We're looking forward to being back next week. Again, check out Thriller Park on Thursday. Keep your eyes peeled to YouTube and so forth, Instagram, for our Otakon content throughout the week. We'd appreciate the shares and the likes and so forth, the comments, the support. It means the world. Why are we excited about that? That isn't that an over-the-counter drug or something? Isn't that a drug?
OTC, maybe.
Prilosec OTC, ain't that a thing?
Only thing I know it stands for is original tribal chief. That's all I know. So that's what the shirt say. That's what he say. So it is what
Rikishi, it is. Fat 2, the original.
Roman Reigns is back.
Tribal chief, though.
The tribal chief is back.
All right. I mean, listen, if you say so, whatever. Listen, we'll see y'all next week. We're out. Toodles loose.
Loading snacks.